Oh, Jesus. That's a fucking bad idea. That's a bad idea. But let me tell you what. A lot of people watch that one.
Will you watch it?
Sure. You know what everybody's tuning in for on that one. Then I think everybody's going to get what they've finally been waiting for.
I'm a little fucked up, but will you take care of me forever and ever?
The so-called problem child finally ran out of luck. For years, fans wondered what would happen if a flashy YouTube boxer faced a true heavyweight force. On December 19th, that question was answered. This was not just a loss. It was a harsh reality check that ended with Jake Paul in a hospital bed, dealing with serious injuries that showed the risk of stepping into elite boxing.
What's up, guys? The day after the fight. Got out of surgery a few hours ago. They put a plate in my jaw, wired it up. Hurts to talk, so I'm gonna keep it short. Took the L, respect to the men across.
Now the story has moved beyond hype, trash talk, and pay-per-view numbers. The focus is on a tough lesson about knockout power at the highest level. After the fight, UFC President Dana White finally spoke out, and his reaction has sent strong waves through the combat sports world.
Burnt bridge with my brother, unfixable.
I don't hate your brother. You guys need to fight guys your fucking same size. When you fought Floyd, you are massive. He did hit you with a fucking bomb, and you fucking ate it. He's gonna fight Gervonta Davis.
Who do you got?
Gervonta, I think, hits way harder than Floyd, but he's too small. Your brother's gonna be able to get inside on him, put his weight on him, tie him up.
I hear your critique on fighting guys the same size as you. Is that why you guys wouldn't let me fight Conor?
Yeah, you're fucking huge. Conor weighs 145 pounds, 155 pounds.
Yeah, but he's...
The sixth round was meant to be Jake Paul's moment to prove himself, but instead it became the moment his confidence faded. At the 131 mark, Anthony Joshua landed a clean right hand that ended the fight instantly. After avoiding danger for 5 rounds and surviving multiple knockdowns, Jake finally met a level he could not escape. As he fell to the canvas, confidence was replaced by the reality of a serious jaw injury. This was not just a defeat, but a reminder of the gap between experience levels, as Joshua stayed composed and finished the fight when he chose to.
There's 2 things I would have done. Tried to shut Jake down at 100 miles an hour, or I would have gone on the back foot. So Jake decided to move around the ring, and I decided to put the pressure on. What I could have done better is a lot of things, 100%. In the fight game, you've seen the amazing fighters that have graced us over the last 100 years, and the expectations that we put on ourselves are immense, but I tried my best. Jake done well while it lasted, but if you remember what I said in the interview with Cameron is, fighting's not just physical, it's psychological. And when you understand the psychological warfare, I did say to you is that, Jake, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna see a time when I'm gonna take your soul and you're either gonna give up or you're gonna get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct, you just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw tonight, Jake has spirit. He has some heart. He tried his best, and I take my hat off to him because, number one, a lot of fighters haven't got in the ring with me, and Jake did. And secondly, even when he got knocked down, he kept on trying to get up, and I take my hat off to him. So America, I think you have someone who could potentially, if he still has the heart for it, come back again, dust the dirt off his shoulder, and come again and maybe sell out this center sometime in 2026, maybe against a Gervonta Davis, a Ryan Garcia.
The aftermath in the hospital was difficult for the Paul camp. Doctors worked to stabilize Jake's jaw, inserting titanium plates to support the fractured bone. The injury was serious enough that some teeth had to be removed, and Jake was placed on a liquid-only diet. X-ray images shared online showed how severe the damage was, reinforcing concerns raised by many experts before the fight. Even Jake's attempt at humor afterward felt more like a way to stay visible than a reflection of his physical condition.
When Jake Paul lost to Fury, I haven't really paid attention to Jake Paul.
I have love for Jake too. I don't know when a fight's happening. I really
all
don't.
The same. He fights older people that are smaller. It's all the same shit.
Am I not remembering correctly? Didn't Jake ask if you could make a amends between them?
I don't think it's ready for that yet.
Well, it's not that. I don't hate Jake Paul. Jake Paul's doing his thing.
UFC CEO Dana White showed little surprise when the news broke. For years, he has criticized crossover boxing, and this result supported his long-standing view. White stated clearly that boxing has levels that marketing and internet fame cannot overcome. He had previously said that many fans were watching just to see how far Jake could go. Seeing Paul require surgery only strengthened White's belief that the matchup was a bad idea from the start.
As a boxer, I think he's done a fantastic job. He dressed up like Hulk Hogan. I just don't know how many more times Netflix is going to go to bat for him, but I think they will one more time, because the axiom is basically, if you draw money, you're going to be getting chance after chance until you're not drawing money, and then you'll still get a couple more chances after that because you did draw money, and that's kind of where he's at right now. He's going to draw with Tyson, he's going to draw on this one, and so he's going to get a couple of more chances, with Netflix, and they'll pay that. Good for him. They'll pay that money, but man, these are. This was just a bad fight, and made boxing look bad. Made boxing look bad in many ways. Especially it just was a circus, and the guy, going for takedowns, and the ref's not doing anything. I thought the ref was terrible. Thought Joshua, was not good. Hurt himself, and then he even admitted it. And Jake was just out there not trying to win a boxing match. He was trying to survive and get the moral victory so he can go out there and be, I lasted 6 rounds with Anthony Joshua. And he survived 6 rounds with him.
The size difference on fight night was clear. Anthony Joshua entered the ring at around 243 pounds, looking every bit like a former unified heavyweight champion. Jake Paul, at roughly 216 pounds, appeared much smaller. Analysts later described the fight as one-sided, with Jake focusing on movement and clinching to survive. Criticism toward the Florida State Athletic Commission has grown, with journalists like Gareth A. Davies calling the sanctioning irresponsible. When an inexperienced fighter faces an elite finisher, critics argue it becomes a safety issue rather than a fair contest.
He appeared to carry Jake Paul for a while, but told me afterwards that he could see that Jake Paul was being evasive. I spoke to him personally, and he decided just to slowly marinate Jake Paul. Obviously hit him with a huge right hand midway through the 6th round to end the bout. Broke Jake Paul's jaw. He ended up in hospital, kind of rearranged his teeth a little as well, but was very clear afterwards to give great praise to the bravery and courage of Jake Paul that everybody saw. I mean, delusionally optimistic he really is. Jake Paul should go and fight YouTubers and influencers now. I don't think this kind of bout should be sanctioned again. But Joshua, of course, now wants to fight Tyson Fury. He's called him out, and I hope we get that fight in 2026 after both of them have had warm-ups. I understand Joshua will have a warm-up fight in Riyadh late in February 2026. It's all done here. It's over. It's a one and done.
Even within the Paul family, the tone shifted from confidence to defense. Logan Paul publicly supported his brother, claiming Jake had success in several rounds before the knockout. He praised Jake's toughness for continuing despite the injury. However, many in the combat sports world rejected that narrative. Analysts such as Daniel Cormier and Carl Froch suggested that Joshua controlled the fight and ended it when he chose. Froch described the event as damaging to boxing's credibility, saying it added more spectacle than substance.
Jake Paul was just on pure survival mode from round 1 right through to round 6. I don't know if he's got a moral victory going 6 rounds. Maybe he has. People might give him credit for going 6 rounds. But he got in there and just survived. He just went in there and ran like a chicken from round 1 right through to round 6 when he got splattered. And it's like, it's just, you can't really justify what he's done, because this is supposed to be a professional sanctioned boxing match. And I think it brings the integrity of the sport down when somebody like AJ, is a 2-time world champion, can't get in there and just completely dismiss somebody like Jake Paul, who I've said for ages can't fight. He's not a professional boxer. It's just AJ following him around, touching him to the shoulder. Round 1 came and went. Round 2 was much of the same, bit slow. I think AJ got caught with an overhand right at one stage, but sometimes when you're out in the rain, you're going to get wet. It was following him around, taking his eye off the ball, probably a bit undermotivated, thinking, what's this guy doing that's in front of me? Jake Paul was just running left to right, ducking low, falling on the floor, throwing a couple of wild swings, and one did get through, but it just bounced off AJ's chin like water off a duck's back. It was nothing. And then the only reason Anthony Joshua got the fight finished, the sad thing is, I think if Jake Paul was fit enough and he had the energy and the engine, which he hasn't got, because he's not a professional athlete. You know, he goes in the gym every day and he trains and he's fit and he trains like a pro. But that don't make you a professional fighter. What makes you a professional fighter is building yourself up through the ranking system, earning your position in the professional sport. And
warnings from fighters like Conor McGregor now seem accurate in hindsight. Before the fight, McGregor predicted that Joshua would win easily and hinted that the damage could be lasting. Taking a clean punch from a heavyweight champion can have serious effects beyond the ring. As Jake recovers in hospital, unable to eat solid food and facing a long rehabilitation, many are questioning whether the payday was worth the physical consequences that may follow him for years.